More ripples over the seizure of former Imo governor property and the rest that followed. Group threatens in Imo to recall Senator Okorocha. Tonight we'll hear from both sides of the divide. And National Assembly confirms former service chiefs as non-career ambassadors, with some opposition lawmakers speaking against the president's decision to nominate them. Hello everyone, and welcome to Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimberley at Channels Television's global headquarters here in Lagos. Let's begin by telling you that the National Assembly is giving a stamp of go-ahead over the confirmation of President Buhari's nomination for non-career ambassadors of some of those who have served as a service chief, despite criticism in some quarters. Senate Minority Leader Enyenaya Abaribe had questioned the nomination and confirmation of the ex-service chiefs when the Senate had on 3 different occasions called for their sack while they were in service. Senator Abaribe also questions why the petitions against the former service chiefs were dismissed without explanations. But Senate President Ahmed Lawan dismissed Senator Abaribe's concerns, ruling that the nomination of the former service chiefs cannot be nullified simply because the upper chamber had called for their sack, noting that this is a totally different assignment. The Senate President promptly stopped any further debate on the matter. So tonight, we'll put a spotlight on what is happening in Imo State. Let's tell you that the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, has met with President Muhammadu Buhari, and some information coming out of what the reasons why he met and the military operations in Olu area of the state, including some of the reasons why the state government confiscated some of the properties linked to the former governor and senator representing Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha. Tonight, you remember what happened on Sunday when Senator Rochas Okorocha was invited by the police following the sealing of a property linked to him. So tonight, we shall be getting perspectives on what really happened and the reasons for the sides on their decisions. Tonight, I'm being joined on the program by Mr. Enyenaya Onuegbu, is a commissioner for Land Survey and Planning in Imo State. He joins us from Owerri. And from our Abuja studio is Ms. Zainab Mohammed. She's the Advisor Public Affairs to Senator Rochas Okorocha. Thank you so much, gentlemen and lady, for coming tonight on the program on what has become a major concern for the people of Imo State and Nigeria at large. So let's get started with the conversation, shall we, everyone? Let me hear also, let's allow Ms. Zainab Mohammed to get the conversation started. So we saw what happened last week at some point. The state government said he has sealed and seized a property linked to the former governor. And the former governor arrived in Owerri on Sunday, and he went to that property, and whatever has happened afterward has become the ripple effect is what we're seeing today, arrests and counter reactions and all of that. From the side of Senator Rochas Okorocha, we spoke to him on telephone, and he told us what happened when he was with the police. But what is exactly the side of Senator Okorocha on that property? Was that property legally acquired? Was that property confiscated or not?
Well, good evening, Sean, and thanks for giving us the opportunity to say it from our side of the story. Yes, Senator Rochas Okorocha was in Imo State to go and view the property that was said to be sealed. Sealed or not sealed, that was done illegally. No paper was served, no communication, no court judgment. There was no white paper to say that property was sealed, and it's being taken by Imo State government. So Senator Rochas Okorocha, in his normal vein, went into that property to have a look at what is being done, because there was a lot of looting going on in that building. People's property, there were guests. That's a hotel and apartment. There were guests in there as of the time they went in there to seal that property up. Before the senator went to Owerri, he called the commissioner of police of Owerri and said, was there a legal document permitting them to go to seal that property? No, there was none. The Deputy Commissioner of Police, there was none. So, of course, if there were looting going on, thugs were going in there, nearly as willy, removing TV, removing properties from there, harassing the guests that were there and the staffs on duty, he had every right to go and check and inspect that property. On getting to that property, it's an essay, a serving essay to the sitting governor of Imo State, and thugs and hoodlum went after the senator. And as you've seen a lot of the video going on social media, going viral. What was happening? The looting was continuing. They were trying to machete the sitting senator, shooting at him, shooting at his aides. Well, we are seeing what is going on there. His bags, everything was looted from his vehicle. We've seen the videos of the vehicles and the pictures of the vehicles coming from the scene. There were law enforcement agencies there. Nothing was being done to the hoodlums that were attacking the innocent people that were there. By every right, the senator had to go there to check what was happening to his...
All right, so let's get it clear before I bring the commissioner in. Was there any kind of breaking the seal of that property? Because what we saw last week, we saw the commissioner basically putting a padlock, a seal, on the gate of the property. Before gaining entrance, did the senator and his aide try to gain entrance by unsealing the property?
Let's get the facts clear here. When you talk about seal, is it done legally or illegally? Because if you come into my property without giving me the right paper, the document, the court judgment that authorize you to be in my property, that's illegal sealing of my property. So the word sealing doesn't even come here. That's an illegal imposition of unlegalized, and it's not a law enforcement agency that went to the property. So if it's done by the court, it will be the court judgment will go to the police and the bailiff to go to the property to seal it up. That was not done. So the senator did not at any time break into his own property.
So let's hear from the commissioner now. Mr. Enyinaya Onuegbu is the Commissioner for Lands and Survey in Imo State. It was man who we saw in earlier video last week selling the property. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for joining us. What really happened? What is the legal backing that you have? Because Madam Mohammed is saying there was no legal backing for your action on the property linked to Senator Okorocha. Why did you seal it? Do you have a legal backing?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I sympathize with my sister Zainab, who is there, because she's based in Abuja. She was not in Imo and is only giving hearsay evidence. What is important is that that property, His Excellency Distinguished Senator Okorocha did not own it before he became governor of Imo State. His wife did not own it. While he was governor, he converted that place that is an open space, a watershed, and a green verge, and built up that property while serving as governor of Imo State. And it was on account of that that when he left office, the Ihedioha administration inaugurated a judicial commission of inquiry over land matters in Imo State. When Governor Hope Uzodimma took over office, pursuant to the provisions of the Commission of Inquiry law, he readopted that commission and allowed them to complete their work. And every Imo person had the opportunity to appear before that commission and make any defense to whatever you claim to be your right. When they completed their work, the State Executive Council debated that report and passed it. It was eventually produced as a white paper, as a gazette of Imo State government. Now, a gazette is subsidiary legislation, is a law, like a budget passed by Imo State House of Assembly. It does not require anybody going to court to enforce the terms of a legislation if you are an official of government. Following the release of the Gazette to the public, I, as Commissioner for Lands, went in to effect the directives of the Gazette, which are included going to this property, which the Gazette directed me to recover, and even gave notice 1 week before the Friday I went there to put that second notice. We had done the first notice, which was also removed. On Friday, before everybody, I went and sealed that property to prevent any trespass. Anybody staying inside there was asked to leave. And some of the people who were there were escorted out of the premises before I sealed that property. Sealing that property involved placing the seal of Imo State government across the gates and conspicuous corners of the property, using a padlock to lock it with a chain. All the entrances were locked and sealed. And we went away that Friday. Now, Senator Okorocha was in Abuja. He was not in Imo. And while in Abuja, his aide, Juan Darlington, released a social media video when he went and said that property could not have been sealed, that they have access to it. So by Sunday, they prepared their army and came into Owerri with their army straight from the airport. They went to that property, broke the seal of Imo State government, broke the locks, broke the chains, and entered the property. The first video on that property showed Okorocha saying, "Where is Hope Uzodinma? Let him come here. Let him come here. I will sleep here this night." It was in that guise that we now, because we cannot join him in that gutter behavior or violent outburst, we reported to the security agencies, and the security agencies intervened at the property and escorted him to the police headquarters. Now, he had talks there. We had done our activity on Friday and left. By Sunday, when he came there, did he see any government official there, except the police people who were standing guard there? He came with his private army, came with his talks, came with his own motley crowd of supporters.
Now, just a moment. Let's clarify a few things. Just a moment, Commissioner. Let's clarify a few things. You're given the premise on which the reason for locking and sealing that place up. Legally speaking, the gazettes that you talk about, is that the right process of acquiring or sealing or confiscating the property under the law? Is there a court order confiscating that property?
No. Now, people are misconceiving issues. When EFCC is investigating a property, they will mark the property. This property is under investigation. When they want to manage that property to realize income, they go ask for an order for forfeiture against the presumed possessor of that title. Now, we want to prevent trespass. We want to prevent people entering that property and using it, contrary to the directives of the Gazette. Now, if you remember in Imo State, some years back, we had the Otokoto issue, where Justice Alino headed the Judicial Commission of Inquiry. That commission released the Gazette that led to the government confiscating properties of Imo people who were affected by only the fact that the mob went to those properties and burnt them. So what is more in this case, government released a white paper on a property that was built on an unauthorized place, contrary to the master plan of Owerri. And you are talking about going to court to get order. I did not need an order to seal that property. When I will need an order is when I want to manage that property to generate income. The courts will require to give me a forfeiture order. Now, aside of that, in the past, we have had issues like that. Now, I have lived in Owerri. I was here throughout the tenure of Governor Okorocha. Let him tell us one time he considered a commission that recommended the demolition of people's properties he did in Owerri. Let him tell us one instance he obeyed one court order. Hatini Henacho's property on Olu Road was demolished with Okorocha standing by on the road simply because they had political differences. He claimed he was expanding the road. Go to that place today, that property is back, well fenced out of the road. So,
Commissioner, just a moment, because we are due for a break.
Yes.
Hold on, Commissioner, just remember, we are due for a break. And a quick question to you, because I will allow Ms. Zainab Mohammed to respond to you, but quick one. Apart from that property that we're talking about, did the state government demolish or bring down any property belonging to Senator Okorocha, like the Rich FM property?
No, not at all. Not at all. What happened was that the place he put up, Rich FM, is a property that used to be the headquarters of Cooperative and Commerce Bank. He apparently bought the property under liquidation. Now, as governor, instead of allowing people to have access to the road leading to that property, he fenced off the road to now take over all the properties neighboring the property he uses as Rich FM. When the Gazette came out, the Gazette directed me to remove that gate. And I went to that gate and put up a notice, a removal notice, that the person who put up this gate blocking the egress, the right of people to pass through that street, that the person should remove that gate. Of course, as usual in his character, his aides went and removed that notice I put up on that gate, because that gate was blocking the street leading to the house he uses as Rich FM.
All right. So,
Nobody
Commissioner, we take our break now. But when
there.
we come back, we'll hear from Senator Okorocha's aide and get our own side of what you have stated as the reasons behind the government's action Don't go anywhere, everyone. Plus, we give you during the break the action of a group saying they want to recall the Senator Okorocha, and we'll hear from Nizana Mohammed on those kind of development. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. So we'll put in the spotlight on the situation in Imo State, especially the concerns of Senator Rochas Okorocha after the decision of the state government to confiscate some of his property. So tonight, we have the Commissioner for Lands and Survey, Ayinaya Onuegbu, from Owerri. And in Abuja is the aide on public affairs to Senator Rochas Okorocha, Ms. Zainab Mohammed. We've heard from the Commissioner. Let's go back to our Abuja studio and hear, get reaction from Ms. Mohammed. Give us a sense of what you think of the Commissioners and the Commissioner and the state government's reason for confiscating that property. He said there is no need for a court order. The gazette by the state government and the executive council of the state is enough to confiscate it.
Well, Sean, I really need to ask who sealed the property. By the virtue that he's the serving commissioner does not give him the right, legal right. He's not a bailiff, neither is he from the police. In the eyes of the law, there is no sealing of that property. Whether gazetted or not, the gazetted document will go to court of law to issue the document and the judgment that will tell you otherwise, either to seal it, to forfeit that property. I was listening to him, telling me because I was not in Owerri. Okay, let's go back. I asked that same question because I need that question to be answered. I'm not a lawyer, neither is he a lawyer, but he needs to tell us and to tell the public, if a document is gazetted, does that give it the legal entity, a judgment from court to go seal a place? He's not a bailiff. That's one. Then he talked about, you asked about the Rich FM. He mentioned, have you seen the video of the Rich FM in the public domain? That building was obtained by Rochas over 20 years ago, not when he was a sitting governor just 10 years ago. Now, if you look at where the property is located, there are buildings around it. There is no any pathway. At the end of it is a close. And at the beginning of the road is an estate and building. You have to access through a hotel, one of the hotels that is there, to be able to go into that Rich FM. So this is, please, let's go down on the script that we are playing here. He mentioned about political difference. Are we all playing that script here now? There's not, if we're doing something, let's do it the right way and let's do due diligence on what we're doing. Yes, a panel was set up, a review was set up, it was gazetted, but it never went through the legal document in terms of going to court and getting a court judgment for a bailiff or a police.
Let me just a quick question. Apologies, please.
He's a commissioner for land, not a bailiff.
All right. So just a quick question. If Senator Okorocha had any difference or feels otherwise to the decision of the state government, what do you think is the right step to take if you have a difference or you differ from what the government has done to you? Where do you think he should have seek redress?
Sean, he did not go there. Senator Rochas went to that property to ascertain what was happening, the looting that was going on in there. Fine. That case, the property we are talking in question, the case is with EFCC by the same state. So why would you go behind all that without the judgment to go and break in and seal that property? And then allow the thugs of the community to be looting properties from there. If it was done rightly, and it was a legal judgment from the court of law, no one will break in there and start looting properties. He was talking about Senator Rochas coming in with his military and thugs. We saw the video. An essay to the current governor, somebody called Chinasa Waneri. He had the guts and audacity to bring in thugs. He was wielding machete, and they were the ones shooting. We saw what Rochas was saying in that video. Stop shooting. If there was a retaliation of shooting from Rochas' camp, it would be messy. There would be loss of life. We saw the aides, his aide, Rochas' aide, who was macheted. His son-in-law is in hospital right now because there was a gunshot to his legs. So who here is a thug? Then on Sunday, you were arresting people. Who were you supposed to arrest in the eyes of the law? Please, let's be fact and let's take away sentiment, not because I'm working for Senator Rochas Okorocha. Who
Rochas Okorocha arrested?
Arrested at the scene of this.
Was Senator Rochas Okorocha arrested?
Happened in Owerri.
Now,
is it Rochas Okorocha who was working with no aid, or his cars were attacked, vandalized, his personal belongings were removed from his car, and you saw people, what is his name, Chinasa, the SA, on special duty to Governor Hope Uzodimma, wielding machete at a sitting senator. Please,
Ms. Mohammed, let's allow the commissioner back. Mr. Onuegbu, let me bring you back into the conversation. You heard what she said, and the case is, the EFCC is taking up that case, true or false?
No, false. There is no EFCC marking on that property. Let me clear her. I sympathize with her. If she doesn't know, I am a lawyer of 29 years. I was called to the bar 1991. I have only practiced law in Owerri. I've not done any corporate legal practice. Now, the truth is, she's mistaken execution by a court bailiff of a court judgment with my sealing the property as the authority in charge of land matters in Imo State. If you read the Gazette, which I'm going to read to you, this is the Gazette. At page 261, the Gazette said, Royal Spring Palm Apartments built on Greenbelt/open spaces, violation of the watershed at Otamiri River, Akachi layout. Recommendation, all permanent development therein should be demolished and reverted to status quo as provided for in the master plan of Owerri. Now, at the government side, considering this recommendation, the government says, government accepts the recommendation in paragraph 2K and directs the Ministry of Land, Survey and Fiscal Planning to liaise with OCDA, which is Owerri Capital Development Authority, to implement accordingly. This is the Gazette.
Commissioner, we may not have the time to go through all the Gazette, But let me ask you, just a moment.
Let me conclude.
Just a moment, Commissioner. Let me put this question, because we don't have the time. So if you allow me to put the question through so that you can answer quickly. The question is, on the side of Senator Okorocha and some of his followers, they believe that this is a political witch hunt.
No. Far from it. Far from it. We are members of the same APC with him. If he had any issues, he could reach the governor at the caucus level of the party. He just came to confront the government because if, assuming without conceding, he believed that he was wrongly treated, what he would have done would have been to complain to the governor, petition to the police, go to court, as the case may be, not resort to self-help or going to conceal the property.
Did you provide,
and breaking the place.
All right. Did you provide a copy of the Gazette to the person involved, Senator Okorocha, that is?
No. A Gazette, when you go through Nigerian law, once a Gazette is published, the law says the courts even take judicial notice of a Gazette. I don't need to give him a copy of the Gazette. It's a public notice that he has the right or duty to obtain. What is important is that it has been issued to members of the public.
So let's wrap up now, and let me get your final word in this manner. I saw that about 14 people were arraigned. Was Senator Rochas Okorocha arrested? Was he arraigned? Quick one.
No. Quickly. Senator Okorocha was at the scene of the incident, the crime. He was physically there with his sons-in-law, his police, his orderly, who has retired from police more than 2 years back, still carries a gun following him. They were all there at the scene of the incident. And the police know that once you are seen at the scene, you will be taken to the next police station. In his own case, because of his status, the police accompanied him to the police station and eventually released him. So it is not a question of bringing him from his house. He was at the scene of the incident. And we are losing sight of the fact that when he got there, he was live streaming. He was live streaming it. Before the security agencies from the headquarters came there, he was live streaming his presence
Commissioner,
there.
I'm
more
asking,
than 1 hour
was the senator arraigned alongside the 14 others?
For the Commissioner of Police to answer, he was taken to the police station, and I believe he made a statement as a suspect.
I'll take that as your final word. Allow Ms. Muhammad our final word, just in about 30 seconds. Ms. Muhammad, your final word in this regard.
if it's not a political script or winch hut here, what about the tunnel? What about the 1,000-bed hospital? What about all the roundabouts? What about the warehouse that was broken into? What about the universities that is providing education for less privileged children? What about the School of Nursing? Please, there are a lot of ongoing activities that is contrary to what the Commissioner for Lands is saying. Whether we like it or not, if you have an authority on the land or a property that belongs to someone who is living or not, you should be able to inform that person.
We need to leave it at that because we're totally out of time. But I must sincerely thank both of you for coming tonight and speaking your side of the matter. Mr. Enyenai Onuegu, the Commissioner for Lands and Survey in Imo, said thank you for tonight. And Ms. Zainab Muhammad, the aide to Senator Okorocha on Public Affairs, thank you so much indeed for joining us today. But that's how we leave it tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Akimbale. Bye-bye.